I was going to watch one of the 2 playlists that I want on this channel, which is the Together Tech playlist, where I talk about how doing technology together is more powerful and less risky, and that was my idea coming into Game B, even though the playlist was created after I came into Game B. And the other one is my life story, which I put out right around Kyle Cease getting Me Too'd. The community and parenting one, I believe it was the parenting one that was on February 19th, 2020. I then found this while I was looking for the Together Tech playlist and even made it in the title. I found my GPS coordinate playlist. These is going to be a lot of repeat on the same story because it's 3 years worth. I think I'm going to tell the necklace story a few times, going to tell the angry neighbor story a few times. This is just my playlist for the next GPS coordinate. The idea, and I learned it through Kyle Cease, is the GPS that is guiding us only gives us the next step after we followed the previous one. So take the next left. It doesn't give you the whole route, right? Just the next left. And then you turn, and it's like turn right in 200 meters. That is what this playlist was doing the next GPS coordinates. And ironically, none of them are the ones that started the GPS coordinates, which are the Aya and other things I've learned during Aya. So add to stream. We're just going to watch it. I will be back behind the scenes and come in and comment if needed, but mainly just to have them on this channel. This is my GPS coordinate. This is I'm saving the world. Well, I know how to create the technological cooperative. I'm living my life in these days and these signs come up. This is before 2023 when everything came together. Although, has it? I'm still red stringing. Look what I made last night. Look what I made last night. Keep track of all the birthdays because it's what you need to do at 10 p.m. at night. Is make little happy birthday, streamers. Okay, not the point. Add to stream. I know what this day is, but I'm going to show the date on each of them because it's going to be relevant. This is October 16th, 2019, the day watching the video Zach Geist Dispelling the Mystery of Debt, where he talks about a debt jubilee. My necklace broke. Well, he was saying jubilee. The necklace was made for me a decade ago, and I started wearing it nonstop a few months ago. It broke today on the birthday of the man who gave it to me, nearly 7 years after his death. He was the person who I had just moved in with. Yeah, Eric is very tied to everything.
All right. I just told this story, but the yoga studio was very echoey, so I just want to retell it. And I don't want to wait till I get home because then I might not be in a space to be able to tell it. So something significant happened on my journey, and although I'm still figuring out the significance, I wanted to share it in its current state. I have been wearing, and I'm sure you've seen that I was wearing a necklace for months. The reason that I put it on is a little bit private, but it was because someone explained to me in First Nations tradition that it was done for protection, and so I put it on. And that is significant. Also, for the story, that it was about my project and putting out about finding people for my project, and I found someone who was not at all that, but was exactly what I needed in that moment to get my next health leap forward as well as project. So I've been wearing this for months, and today it broke. Today isn't just any other day. Today is also the birthday of the person who gave me this necklace. And almost 7 years ago, about 2 weeks after his birthday, he died from suicide. And me, pregnant with my daughter, very pregnant with my daughter, 7 months pregnant with my daughter, got on a Greyhound bus and went to Alberta to say goodbye. And that was the last time I was in Lethbridge, where I grew up. I don't have any family left there. I stayed with one of my other good friends that dated him before. She's now married with kids. He at one point moved out here and we were roommates. He moved out to Vancouver. And right after he moved in with me, I got diagnosed with my brain tumors and went through surgery. Watched him go through his addiction to pot. And then the guilt associated with not talking to him on his birthday. Him never getting to meet my daughter. It's a lot. There's a lot there. But today, the fact that it broke off today on his birthday is significant. And that's about how significant my signs are from the universe a lot of the time when I have to be paying attention. Because it could have broken off on any day. It also could have just broken off on his birthday. But it broke off in an area I didn't expect it to break. It also happened while I was watching a video on a debt jubilee by Charles Einstein and Zach Geist. And the reason I can remember those names is while watching it, I remember thinking as soon as it was Zach Geist, I was like, that's like Zeitgeist. And Eric introduced me to the Zeitgeist movies. And I introduced him to the Zeitgeist movement. And the Zeitgeist movement, resource-based economy, it's a big piece of what I'm trying to create in the world. Like how we actually get there. I know how we can actually incrementally get there. And in this Game B space that I've been in for the last month, I keep hearing Jubilee. I keep hearing my name. Remzi mentioned it. He talks about having the common planet is about debt jubilee. But more so, he was like we will clued into it at the exact moment we were having a conversation. We're like, oh yeah, you're Jubilee. That's what I talk about. It's a global Jubilee. And I was talking to Jordan Hall. Same thing. He was talking about a project called the Jubilee, Debt Jubilee Project, and how that works. And now this, which I found from the Game B Facebook group, but also this concept is very Game B of a debt jubilee. My whole life, that has been my name. And now, after last weekend, where I got the piece of I am part of the story. It's not just I happen to be the person who happens to know how we create this world. None of it is about that I'm better than other people because it's coming through me. I know that. It's I have to become the person who's worthy of this coming through. And no, I don't, because I don't know. I don't even know what it means, but I'm sitting with it and I wanted to share it because that's a piece of it. Sharing this stuff as it comes up. How these things happen that are significant. And after having told this story previously in the yoga studio and then coming down here and telling it in the craft studio, Eric, intertwines everything. He's intertwined even in my project that happened long after he was gone. But the fact that he introduced me to Zeitgeist, the fact that I was wearing this necklace, the fact when this all happened. But he's also intertwined with two of the biggest learnings in my life, which are my brain tumors and what came after that. And my child being born, and he didn't get to meet her, but I traveled with her to see him. And there's something significant there that this happened around the end of her life, at the end of his life, and the beginning of hers. And that I don't know all of this significance, but I wanted to share this story because that is what I'm here to do. Is share the story of me creating the spark that creates the thing that we create together, that is a debt jubilee, it sets all of us free from the slavery of capitalism. And that my name is Jubilee is it's proving itself to be significant to me. But by it repeating, it has to repeat again and again. This had to break off while I was watching the video. Does anyone else have those things happen? Please share in the comments if you do. I would love to hear it. Does the universe hit you over the head with things? Are you that clueless like I am that it needs to be thing upon thing upon thing for you to get the message? I hear you, Eric. Thank you.
So I'm gonna check out what that one is. But ooh, I need to figure out a way to get those to stay on their page because they are coming up. Happy birthday things. Okay. Speaking of, right? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Page on my name. More me. Let's go see what I who's this? Who's this? I hope these. Oh, I won $900. Yeah. February 15th, 2020. I forgot that was Valentine's Day.
So, as the title suggests, I won $900. And it's less about that amount of money, because that amount of money isn't exactly world changing or life changing, but it's a fun amount to win. And the things that had to happen for me to win that. I don't play the lottery very often. I only play it when I feel the urge because it's at a high number and it's a high enough number that I can play with. It's for entertainment value. So when I went grocery shopping on Tuesday, the Lotto Max was at, I don't even know, 40 million, I believe. And so I bought a ticket thinking that I would have until Friday to be entertained because that's when Lotto Max does their draw. But the next day, the amount in the pool had gone up, and I was like, "Oh, right, it's Tuesday. They have the draw too." So I just bought the ticket, and now it's more money, and I did want to have that entertainment. So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go buy a ticket by Friday." And on Thursday night, my kid had a sleepover, and I had a women's night out with the people in my community, and she was having a sleepover there. And I forgot to I bought her chips when I went grocery shopping on the Tuesday, but I forgot to bring them because we had a little bit of drama when we were leaving. So I walked to the nearby 7-Eleven in order to buy some plain potato chips, which was what she wanted for the sleepover. While I was there, I was like, okay, I got the lottery ticket checked for Tuesday and wasn't a winner, no free ticket. I was like, I kind of want to play with that number. I was having fun. I wanted to play with the amount of money in my head again. So I bought a ticket. I was like, would you like the extra? I was like, no, 50 million or nothing. I don't. And then this morning when I went to walk the dog after our board meeting, I got the ticket checked, and I thought he said it was like $9.25. I was like, cool, awesome, which is about the most. I think $10 is the most I've ever won on the lottery. And usually I just want a free ticket because that's the thing I want. Like I was even a little disappointed that I won $9.25, even though you can buy almost 2 tickets with that. But then I feel like I have to choose to buy a ticket with that as opposed to when it gives you a free ticket, there's no option. And so I did buy another ticket because the number went up again. It's now at 60 million. I was like, all right, well, the chances actually kind of go down that I bought it there and redeemed it there. And even he was like, that's the largest number we've ever won here. And then I lost my wallet there, so I just went and picked it up. It was quite, but it's like the things that had to happen. I had to buy a ticket on Tuesday. It had mistakenly forgot my kid's chip bag, go there to buy it. And then Valentine's Day, I won $900. And now I'm playing with what to do with that money. Because there's something about it where I'm like, I want it to facilitate the scheduling app. And whether that means finding someone who will volunteer and create it, because I know you $900 I'd have to pay somebody in another country to make it. Even then, it would be low for that. So possibly using it for servers and for that kind of thing. But I'm going to have a brainstorm with my brother later as to what to spend it on. But I do want it to facilitate the project. There was something about it. But I also maybe it's just the story that facilitates it. Maybe the right person clicks on this video because they're like, oh, $2,900. And this channel has become me telling my story to see how we create the technology. But these little things that happen, like it's not just winning the $900, like what had to transpire for me to win that. And seeing like, hey, if I went grocery shopping and if I hadn't been mistaken about the lottery days, and if I hadn't forgotten my kids' chips and I walked to the store and bought it, then I wouldn't have this money to play with in my head. And whoever ends up coming on board because I'm able to maybe pay that money into the pool for creating the scheduling app, and then everything that comes out of once we have the scheduling app is like these things just all interweave together. And I want to share a tiny piece of it with you. And I feel like lottery winnings are more universal, like more like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like that's luck. But the things that had to transpire are also luck to be able to achieve that. So I just wanted to share that with you.
I just realized, I think, what happened on that same visit, because I believe I'm dog sitting at this point in time. And I believe the second run in with the angry neighbor happens in this trip a few days after. Possibly February 19th, but no, not February 19th.
Hi. So tomorrow, the Idea Cafe is on conflict resolution and how conflict resolution.
Oh, and wait a minute. This no, yes, it says 20 February 17th. So 2 days later, and I'm about to say what? Oh yeah, I should just let past me speak. It's even in the playlist.
Should working game be in whoever shows up opinion? It's not like we're implementing anything, but today I got my own part 2 of my own conflict resolution story. So a year and a half ago, I was staying in the same apartment, watching the same dog, and this is my community, but I don't live here. I've been involved since the beginning. I helped get it created in my own small way, and I just wasn't able to move in due to financial reasons of not being able to rent or buy here. But I have been involved with this community for almost 8 years. And a year and a half ago, I was dog sitting, and one of the downstairs neighbors freaked out on me because I don't live here. I didn't know that was a regular occurrence for this woman. So I went to kind of apologize right after. I was like, oh, I made this person mad. I better go and make amends. And it escalated, and she said some very mean, spiteful, hurtful things. And I ended up in tears for like 2 days. And I had this whole awakening of this anger in me. It was that night or the next night that I experienced anger towards my kid that I hadn't experienced before, and asked for help from my community. While I was staying here, I was feeling this anger, and I both had a feelings coach at the time. I have this parenting group on Facebook, and I have this community. And I was feeling anger. I was like, oh, this is the one place I actually can go out and like go for a walk around, because my kid can come on the balcony and yell at me if she needs to. So I went for a walk and was pacing, and one of the first neighbors I ran into was like, do you know anything about anger management? She's like, yeah, I taught anger management for 20 years. And so she gave me some techniques. My feelings coach also gave me something that she didn't give them to me right away. I was like, everything came back to me at exactly the right time. It's like, because if she had, then I wouldn't have went for a walk and met the other person who gave me the information. And it just, I don't even know, it like awakened this anger in my body that I'd never had before. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Is this mine? Is this someone else's? Um, and it's actually how I also found Teal Swan, is because I was looking at methods for anger. And then I don't remember the Vietnamese monk, I don't remember what his name is, who has a book on anger. And I started reading that. I don't think I finished it, but the fact that I even started reading it is pretty big with my reading it the way it is right now. So it also was a great precursor or trailer for the conflict I had with my sister, which, because it's my sister, was much more a lot more emotions happened. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to handle what happened with my sister literally a year ago. Oh my god. Yep, because today is family day, and the thing with my sister happened on family day. Honestly, oh my god, why? I'll tell the sister story a whole other time, or not. But anyway, so I stayed here. The whole thing is that she sleeps during the day, she naps during the day, and my kid is loud. And so we had tried to have conflict resolution before. It didn't work because the people who mediate the conflict were like, this is not going to work because she just wants you to change and she's not willing to listen to your side. And I literally did nothing wrong. Like, I don't know how to get a 7-year-old to not be loud. There's 2 kids who live here, and there's tons and tons of kids who are over here all the time making noise. And my kid does dance and prance around. She just, like, every 30 seconds, I'm like, walk softly, walk softly. And so the neighbor today, after there was my daughter and her friend over, they're swimming, came over to say that they were being loud and they woke her up for a nap. Was like, well, right now they're gone. You can go nap now. And she freaked out on me. about how I don't care. And I was like, I'm not having this conversation with you. You can go through somebody else. Which is what happened for 6 months. I was like, I'm not talking to her. She needs to go through someone else. She lost the right to talk to me. And now she's back to that. Anyway, so she was stepping inside their house. She wouldn't leave. I'm like, you're trespassing. She's like, no, you're trespassing. I own here. I'm like, I'm staying in somebody's house. You don't own the entire thing. Yeah, anyway, so I ended up pushing her out the door, which, if anyone who knows me, I am very, very nonviolent. Even though I do get into flight or freeze, I go freeze, then I go flight, then I get into fight. And even I asked her to leave a dozen times. And then I was like, all right, fine, I'm calling the people who live here, one of whom's a lawyer. Anyway, and but they're at an important family event. I don't want to disturb them. So I ended up calling one of the other neighbors. Then one of the other different neighbors came to sit with me.
The important family event they are at is a funeral, and the method of death is the same as my friend Eric that I just talked about in the last video, the one who made the necklace.
Oh, my adrenaline cooled down. But oh my God, it's family day. It's family day. And although the thing didn't happen, like the passive aggressive thing with my sister that started it happened on family day a year ago. Holy crap. And I even then was like, this thing with this woman was thank God it happened, because it made me feel a part of this community. But I like, there was this worry that I would get into conflict with somebody and they get kicked out, that I wasn't like a true member, like I was a second class citizen member, kind of not was like consciously, but definitely subconsciously. And after this conflict, I was like, nope, actually, I'm just as much entitled to be here as you are, even if you do own your place. But so I'm going to be sitting with this feeling, and I might pay this price tomorrow, because the whole thing, like adrenaline was coursing through my body. Adrenaline is poison for me. So I know I'm wide awake right now. I tried to have a nap. It didn't work. So karma, she could nap. Now I can't nap, but I'm on cooking tonight. So I'm going to go meet my fellow chef soon. Did most of the work, which I'm super grateful for. And I hope I have enough energy to clean this place up tomorrow. But if I don't, I guess there's a reason. I saved my spoons and then the neighbor took them all of them. But like, what kind of a grown ass woman can't? You need to leave. You need to stop having this conversation. You need to leave. You need to leave now. You need to leave now. And like, will not leave. Will it just keep stepping forward? I mean, as a grown woman, maybe I shouldn't be pushing back, but there was nothing else to do at that point. It's like, you need to be out of here. This adrenaline's not good for my body. It is life or death at this point for me. At least it feels like that. It's like, which I get, she can't control her anger. But I didn't even do it out of anger. It was just out of like necessity for this to stop right now. I can't retreat because she's retreating into the house. I can't freeze because this is not, I kind of didn't respond, and then she just kept coming at me. And then last one is fight. And I don't know if she's going to tell other people in the community, because, but I will, because it's part of how I process things. Last time we had this conflict, and then they were like, well, maybe just pick 2 or 3 people to tell. So I'm going to try to Steve with talking about it to the same 2 or 3 people as before. But like, it just happens. I process with how it comes up as it comes up. And if you don't want me telling people you're a raging bitch, maybe don't be a raging bitch. Maybe learn to control yourself. But can we? I don't know. She's in her 70s. If she hasn't learned how to control her anger, and she's lived in an intentional community like her whole life. I don't understand this woman. It's like, how can you be this angry? She really hates my 7-year-old, clearly. It's like, how can you be this angry at a kid for not being able to control her feelings and her, like, you want me to be able to, like, what magic formula do you have to get my kid to listen? Because I'm open. I don't know how to get her to not prance on the floor. Like, I really don't. And I was trying. I was like, every 30 seconds, can we be quiet? Quiet feet. Yesterday, I had friends over, and she called and said that they were being loud. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry, we're just having friends over. The 2 older ones, my kid and the one that's a little bit younger, could go to the playroom, but the little guy can't. Like, he's too young to supervise. So he'll still be here, and he might be screaming because if they leave, he's little brother. It's going to be sad. And it turns out screeching upsets her less. So I was like, fine, they can go down there. But she was like, you can go and supervise them in the playroom. Like, no, I can't. I have guests over. This is not, like, I'm not your help. I'm not even the help of the people who I'm babysitting for or dog sitting for. Like, we're friends. I'm doing them a favor. They're doing me a favor by letting them stay here. It's a symbiotic relationship. Not her, though. Oh, lady. And she just said our email saying how The Parasite is such a good movie. I'm like, no. See the parallel. She's like a vegan and she helps out these like poor at risk mothers, constantly telling us she's doing it. It's like anytime there's a poor at risk mother in here actually living, the only two people I've known that she's freaked out about one-on-one in isolation, she waits till she's alone, no one else is around, and then freaks out on you. Like, you do know last time this didn't, like, I didn't keep it to myself. That's not what I do. Don't why? But now I can see it's like the anniversary. My sister, it's like the night before I'm leaving tomorrow, which I think what happened last time too. I was like, you're just waiting. You just couldn't wait 24 hours. You just couldn't. Like, it's already interrupted your nap today. So if you're not going to go for a nap now, there's no point. You could have texted before the nap, seen if I could have kept them quiet. Nope. One of the times I was here, we weren't talking. I asked, I was like, well, when do you want them out of the apartment? I can figure out how to have them out for an hour or two a day, even though that cost me my spoons. It's like, I don't know. I have different nap times. It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to accommodate you here. This is not working. Like, you're not as dumb as you appear, or as you're pretending to be, or something. I'm like, this is not. I am who I am. I am brilliant in a lot of areas, and yeah, I'm absent-minded and don't have energy to necessarily control my kid constantly. And my kid's awesome, and she's much more sympathetic and a kinder person at 7. Knows how to deal with her emotions and her body more than you do, because you're stepping in. And that's not true. My 7-year-old does that too. She's the other one who knows how to trigger me. Knows how to trigger me and keep coming at me. So thanks, lady. I guess you're helping me get more patience for the person who does matter, my kid. And there's something here because I can't believe. Are you freaking kidding me? This same day as my other. Suddenly, like these 3 anger incidents. Her last, not this like 2019 summer, but 2018 summer. Then my sister a year ago today, although the email that ended it was like 3 or 4 days after this event. But now this. It's 11.
That email that I just referred to was sent on February 19th, 2019. February 19th is a date that did not mean anything before 2023.
Minute video, but that's me. But it's been great staying here. Besides being able to clean up tomorrow and having to be on cooking, and hopefully my hands will work. They are what they are. It's also like, how do I explain why my hands won't work? Oh, because I had adrenaline because our neighbor came and threatened me. Oh, because she wouldn't leave, because she insisted on having this conversation right now. Just because you're grown up doesn't mean you got your shit together. Just because you own your own place. Just because you have money. That's what I learned last time, is how much I was kind of assuming from her because she has disabilities, because she's older, because she's richer, that she should have her shit together. Nope. Your body being in pain and changing can make you more bitter, not kinder. And age doesn't necessarily mean wisdom. And money definitely doesn't mean it. So yeah, I was so grateful for the experience I had with her before, and I'm honestly grateful for this one too. Like, but why? Like, the day before the conflict resolution, the night before I leave, and a year to the day the thing happened with my sister, and I was out of spoons from taking my daughter to a family day event. Oh, universe, you just need to be obvious, don't you? Don't give me the obvious lesson, though. Just give me the thing I know is a lesson, and I'll figure it out over the next couple days. All right. Thanks. Bye. I think I'm entering a stage of doing more videos. I'm under the awareness that I either have multiple ideas and I can't choose between them, which makes me not take action, or no idea. And I'm going to honor when I have no idea. But when I have multiple ideas, pick one and just do it, and let the other ones fall by the wayside. So I've had these things happen to me over the last couple of weeks that I wanted to share with you. And in order to share them, I need to share a concept that I've learned over the last few weeks called the glimmer. When you have autism, you have more things that trigger you. Everyone has things that trigger them. But I have sights, smells, and sounds that
trigger my nervous system and make me go into overdrive, and I don't like them, and they have sensations in my body I don't like. The flip side of that is glimmers, the sights, the sounds, the smells that lift up my heart and soul in the moment. And I seek those things out. Some of them are stimming, like being on swings, and some of them are the smells. And so in the forest that I go for a walk in, they've cleared out this patch of trees and they're cedars they've cut down. And so every time I go for this walk, I go and walk up to this one tree and smell it. And about a week ago, I realized how perfect it was, that it was exactly at nose height. Like I just literally walk right up to it and it's like right here. And I was like, oh, if they'd done it further down, I'd have to bend down and that would hurt my lower back. It was just something cool. And it wasn't the forest. The forest didn't cut itself off at that stage, right? It was the loggers. But that's the kind of thing that if I told someone about it, like, yeah, it's a coincidence. It's not a sign from the universe for anything. And that's the point. It's like a personal miracle. It proves it to me when these things happen over and over again. It's not about proving it to anyone else because they're like mundane miracles. It's you have to look for yours in your life, not someone's in someone else's life, right? Theirs is never going to prove it to you. And if it does, it's probably about trying to be something instead of just being something. Right? If I'd went and cut that cedar plank off and been like, hey, look, I mean, the tree trunk. So on this walk that I've been doing for years, I only realized a few months ago, it was definitely during the pandemic, that there's a swing set. And I love swing sets. Every time I see one, if it's any kind of large swing set, I need to go on it. And so now when I go on this walk every day, I go on the swing set. And it's only been a few months, but in the last few weeks, I've had these things occur every time I'm on this slight walk out of the way to get to the swing set or on the swing set itself. And so I don't remember what order they happened in, but I remember one of the times just seeing a dragonfly on the way. And dragonflies are my insect animal that I will see from nature when there's a message. And I don't even know what the message is. It's not like the dragonfly's like, all right, now do your taxes. Like it's not a direct course of action. It's just like nature in my belief system. It's nature just telling me she has my back. Like, yeah, we see you. We know what you're doing. Here's a gift. And so, like, if I came on and told you about the dragonfly weeks ago, I'd be like, yeah, great. But in that same section, I've had these multiple things happen. So then I was sitting on the swings about a week ago, and a coyote crossed the road and went to the forest. And I know when I see a coyote, it's huge. It's not quite like a dragonfly. Coyotes are very rare. The other time I saw one where it was a message, it was on my birthday, and it was right outside my house. It was like 9:30 in the morning when coyotes shouldn't be out. This was closer to 7 in the morning. And so just amazing that the coyote was there right then. One of the other times, right after, it was 1 or 2 days, it was right after that one, there was these little songbirds that were like right in front of my face doing their little dance. They weren't just flying by, it was like right in front doing this dance, and then took off and went away. And then yesterday, when I was sitting on the swing listening to my music, air singing like I do, because it's about like going out and feeling good. That's why I'm there, to like re-spark to glimmer. And all of a sudden I got this overwhelming smell of cedar that the forest doesn't really give off. It kind of only gives it off when it's cut, but it was just, and it's far enough away from the forest that I'm not surrounded by trees. And it was just this, and I get like phantom smells sometimes, but they last like a second. Like it's not very long, and this one lasted like 30 seconds, a minute. I was like, wow, oh my goodness, it's this smell that comes up. And the other thing that I felt drops of rain. I'm like, it's sunny out, it can't be raining. And then it started raining more and more, and there was like no rain anywhere else. Like I could see off in the distance, and it was just while I was on the swing, and it was my favorite weather, which is when it's sunny out and raining at the same time. And it was just like for the length of a song, and then I got off and I was just like, oh, thank you. And I knew that was the message to tell you this. So I was gonna do this one yesterday, but doing it today because I want to know from you, what are your messages that the universe or nature or God, whatever you call it, the mystery that is the reason we are here, is giving you, and to start waking up to them. Because even just like, again, they're not concrete, this is what you do. It's just, yeah, we see you, you're on the right path, you're doing it right. Or sometimes it's the opposite. You know, when you see it, is this like a glimmer or a trigger? Is this something, yes, you're doing right or doing wrong? And that's what I'm here to do, is figure out my best course of action and my learning and growth, and take my very tailored education system that the universe is giving me, my tailor-made course. And I invite you to do the same. So I would love to know your glimmers, the things that make you happy and make your heart sing. as well as if you have had any signs from the universe in the last few weeks and what they are if you want to share them. You can share them in the comments below and read other people's if they've commented. And I'm sure I will be on here more often because today is day 1 of No Pot for the month, August 1st. All right, thank you.
I was laughing because the me crying for 20 minutes. It's just, I needed to put that up there. But it's like 17 and 43, which is like my current age, and 17 this year. In fact, the thing next to it is what proved that 17 was important, and what I just showed has 17 on it, because it also happens to be the number of jubilees that there were. The number of biblical jubilees that there were. Whatever the next one is, let's see. Let's just leave me on mute while we go to the
I
next
will
one.
see you later.
I am here to try. All right. Today's amazingness brought to you by Thursday's Crap Day. This was around Nicole joining doTERRA. I'm probably not going to name her, but August 19th, 2020. Try to explain to you my journey, my stories. But part of the problem is when something happens, it's like 18 layers that come into it and 18 layers that go out of it. But I'm going to try, because the video I shared last week, it's really long because it's the weave together of the stories throughout the day, where I felt like shit because my kid's play date got canceled. And then I went for this walk, and the next morning the troll was on the video, and I was like, this is a mundane, profound mundane life. Like, it's like just learning as things come. And then because I went on that walk on Thursday and I wrote this message to my siblings, who I don't really talk to my sister. We had one conversation. We didn't talk for a year and a half. We're kind of repairing what was there before, and without actually repairing it, it's very weird. But I had this urge to send the message to my siblings. I'm like, okay, do it. The universe told you to. So I sent this message to my siblings on Facebook, just about Nathaniel the Grublet, this Christian character. It's in the video. And then because of that, I had the messenger with my siblings. Today, we had to reschedule the play date for today. So while my kid was playing, I was down walking by the water, and I was responding, figuring out how to respond to the woman on YouTube I'm having a conversation with. And they're arguing the MLM math, and she's like, I'm building a business. I have 1,800 people under me. This is beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you even commenting on it? Because it's predatory, and I'm here to take it down, just so we're clear. But I was like, I want to know how much people actually spend on essential oil, right? I'm going down this rabbit hole. I actually have a resource of somebody who owns an essential oil company. Why not ask them? So I asked my sister how much people spend on her top end essential oils, her business, on her website. And she was like, $80 is like the average high end. I was like, okay, that's okay. $80. This is high end, high quality essential oil, and not just essential oil. These are products. These are like, I have one of her deodorants, and there's a bunch of other stuff. Young Living, which one are we talking about? doTERRA is like, you need to buy $150 worth of products. So because I was down, because we canceled the play date, I was on the walk later in the day, signed up with the sibling group. Therefore, I felt more comfortable just asking the question. Didn't have cell reception, didn't get the answer till later. But I was like, this is a weird question to ask. We're not really connected right now. I was like, I'm researching doTERRA. And so that was the last message she got from me. And she was like, don't sign up for doTERRA. They're a horrible company. Told me this story, that they are a horrible, beyond what I knew company. And then I was like, this is just so perfect, because if my friend had not signed up for doTERRA, I would not have gone down the rabbit hole. I would not have been binge watching them on Thursday. I would not have done that video. That video would have happened. I wouldn't have missed the play date. I would have still missed the play date, because that's not the reason I missed the play date. But if I hadn't also missed the play date, that's the other thing weaving in, then I wouldn't have had this conversation. I wouldn't have been where I was today. I wouldn't have had this conversation. And so what is coming out of this is I've invited my siblings. We'll see if my brother comes. My sisters agreed to do a solution raising on essential oils. Essential oil is not a topic that I would normally cover with a solution raising, but I'm like, if they are something that people want, and they seem to be, what does that look like? And I happen to have someone who's in the business, but also a solution raising. Like she's in
she's a capitalist business in essential oils, and yet she is here to do good, and she's waking up more and more to the capitalism in its current iteration is broken. And so I was like, there's a reason I'm asking her to be part of it. I don't actually know what the outcome is going to be. And it might just be the three of us having a conversation with my brother. Then I also had the urge to invite this friend of mine, because there might be that my sister and her get a connection. It might be that there's something coming out. Like this friend of mine who's involved in a resource-based economy is here to do good shit, but is also chronically ill, because a lot of us are chronically ill who are here to do good shit, because we've known about all the stuff that's wrong on the planet for so long, and it's a lot. And so there's some reason this conversation's coming together. And we just had, my sister and I just had a 2-hour conversation where she talked about her future vision. It was the most healing conversation we've had in 2 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years, even when we were talking. And it's like, we had the falling out for a reason. We both have grown, and it's like we both are like closer back to together, like not in a relationship wise, but in a lifestyle wise. It's like I came kind of a little bit more over to her side, more understanding through Game B, just less rigidity towards my vision through Game B that I might have been able to have if we had maintained that relationship for that 1.5 years. Like I needed her not in my life for that, for sure. I still am going to get triggered by her constantly. But like my friend got involved in essential oils. I wouldn't have had this conversation with my sister. I wouldn't be having the solution raising. I wouldn't be connecting with these anti-MLMers who have a real platform, some of them, on like tens of thousands of followers on YouTube and Instagram, as opposed to 200. I love you guys. I love the people who've been here, who are here and who come to solution raisings and show up on camera. I am more fond of my 200 subscribers than most people are of their tens of thousands, but I'm here to do big things in the world. And if when I put an idea out there, it actually had something happen, that'd be awesome. So I'm not attached to the outcome. The more I'm attached to an outcome, the less it actually happens. It's like the one thing that won't happen is the outcome I was attached to. So why be attached? Just like I'm told to have a solution raising on essential oils, invite my sister, invite my friends, invite my brother. Schedule it, whoever shows up, and we'll see what happens. But I wanted to share everything that went into that, and I'm sure I'm missing so much out because I can't. This would be hours long just to dissect that one thing. All of the things that came up during the walk, what is coming out with this conversation on YouTube. I wouldn't think that my friend joining an essential oil company would have a learning for me, for my sister, for our relationship, for the planet possibly. But it does, because that's how the universe works. It is here to teach you. It is here to guide you. And everything is unfolding in its perfect time and way. And I'm here to showcase my little piece of that. So hopefully you can find your little piece of that. Thank you. The universe delivers to me every lesson I need to learn to become who I'm supposed to be. Generally, they're little tiny lessons that happen throughout the day when I encounter emotions about other people, when I see messages in nature, or just the perfect thing is given to me by like the Facebook algorithm or the YouTube algorithm. But sometimes those events are more profound and bigger. And this is one of them that happened 2 years ago. And I'm reminded of it because I keep this daily journal for my kid. And when I was writing in it yesterday, I looked back and 2 years ago, tomorrow, which is today, I had written in it in the voice of my child is like, the neighbor came over and made mom cry. And then it is this friend on Facebook's birthday. And the reason we're friends is because 2 years ago for their 28th birthday, and the 28 is a number that means something to me, they put out a call for free coaching. And I took them up on that opportunity. And then I ended up paying for some coaching sessions with them after that, not just the free one, which is unique for me. I generally don't. It's too much money, too expensive to pay for those things. But this was worth it. There was something in it. I was like, yes, I need to pay for this. I need to work with this person. So then this day came around. I was house sitting, dog sitting for friends of mine in the community we're part of. We know everyone there, all of the neighbors. We've been instrumental in creating it and in helping bring it forth. We've been involved since the beginning. And like my daughter was born into this community, even though we don't physically live there, even though they moved in 2.5, 3 years after she was born. But we had to like get it through the city and do all that. So we eat there 2 to 3 times a week before COVID. These were like our people. and one of the neighbors comes over. The neighbor's kid was over playing with my kid, and then one of the older neighbors from downstairs comes upstairs, comes inside, and is like, "You guys woke me up for my nap." I was like, "Oh, girls, you woke you woke so and so up from her nap." And she proceeds to say something that I was like, "What? I couldn't have just heard just like, I'm gonna make sure you leave and never come back." And she leaves, and I was like, I cannot have heard what I just heard. So I go downstairs to her door to find out, does she need us to still leave? Is she still having a nap? And she starts yelling at me that she hates me. She's always hated me. I'm a freeloader. I was like, listen, like, I understand needing a nap. I also need one every day. I have a disability. No, you don't have a disability. You're a freeloader. You and your daughter need to leave and never come back. And she's just like, same things over and over again, just like over the top mean, saying the things in my head that are saying the things out loud that are in my head that I'm scared people think about me. And it is not an event I would have chosen. It was my adrenaline was high. I was crying for like days afterwards that this thing happened, but it was exactly what was supposed to happen, because the things that unfolded after that over the course of the next year and years, as well as like right directly around that. So I went from like, what did I do to this poor sweet woman, to finding out she does this all the time. She's like saccharine sweet until she's not, flies off the handle and says like the meanest things that she can just like finds it. She asks you questions about your life so she can use these things in her vulnerable moments. I don't know. But like both the learning that someone could be involved in intentional community, be in their 70s, and she's been involved for decades in intentional community, and be like, you know, a fairly wealthy homeowner. Okay, she's doing all right for herself, and just not be an okay human being. Like, just, okay, this is, but delivering messages, delivering lessons to the rest of the world. So I ended up becoming closer to the community over this, because I realized I had this fear of being removed over a conflict, right? If I had conflict with anyone, I don't live there, so I'm the one who's going to be removed. But I wasn't. Like, I didn't do anything wrong in that situation. Having someone say the things that are in my head, and worrying that everyone else also felt them, and be like, no, we don't feel that way. We know what, a lot of them also have disabilities. They also know what it's like. And that she had called me a freeloader, and there was a part of that that hurt, because I'm not able to show up in the same way, and I'm not able to attend the big cleaning events that happen twice a year, because they're too long, too big, too loud, too everything. So because I felt bad about it, I was like, okay, what can I do? And so I started cleaning the yoga room every 2 weeks, because it was something within my capacity to do. I could do it. It was a tiny thing every 2 weeks instead of a big thing twice a year. It's quiet up there. I can put on music and just zen out. And I could do it on like a Thursday if I couldn't do it on a Wednesday. It just worked for me. But what happened after that event, both all that learning and community, and like also the community is not set up for conflict resolution. It's not set up for like holding this woman in any way accountable. But it's not on me, because I was like, I went from like, what did I do to this woman, to like, wait, why do we let her get away with this? Why is this okay? Why are you all, no, cool, interesting. Working with this feelings coach, I had this event, so that paralleled her freaking out on me. It was the next night or the night after, where she had been leaving to Europe, so she's now gone and off to Europe, and I was then leaving from dog sitting to come back here the next day. So there was this board game event in the common house I really wanted to go to once my kid was asleep, and she like would not go to sleep, would not lay down, would not do anything. And so I had this feeling of anger that I've never had before. Like, it was like I wanted to commit acts of violence, and it scared me. And so I did not go to games night. I ended up putting out a call to both my feelings coach, like, what is this that's coming up? I need help. Oh my God. Are you gonna not work with me? Because these are scary emotions that I have right now. And I put out a call to this Facebook group that I'm part of, been part of since my daughter was born, about the same thing, like the same story. I'm scared. Has anyone else felt this towards their kid before? Has anyone else felt this much intense anger? What did you do? And neither of them responded. And I was like, everybody hates me. I'm the worst human being ever with my anger. But I'm like, I need to get this out. I can't go for a walk. My kid's asleep. And I was like, oh, I'm at co-housing though. Like, I can go for a walk up and down the courtyard. I can hear my kid if anything happens. She's safe. Anyway, so I went out. The first person I encountered was this other older woman who's part of the community. And I was like, I don't know. Do you know anything about anger management? Like, I'm having a moment. And she was like, actually, yeah, that's what I do. It's like, oh, interesting. How perfect that I'm staying in community right now when this happens, that it was brought out at this time. And she helped me with a few techniques. And then when I got back, there was also, had so many responses from the Facebook community, and my coach had written back, which honestly was her birthday, his birthday. I'm reminded now that it was his birthday. And when he had put out the call for his to give coaching for his birthday, and it was his 28th birthday. He's 30 today. And I'm just like all of these things coming together, and what had unfolded over. So because I had felt that intense anger, I ended up getting introduced to Teal Swan, and as well as this book by, I can't remember his name, but I want to say Tibetan, that's not right, Vietnamese monk, who has a book about anger, and just not suppressing it anymore and figuring out how to work with it and how to not take it out on people, hopefully, but find ways to channel it. That I had like 30 plus years of anger in my body that I hadn't been able to express. And that doesn't mean I have 30 years to now express it, but how do I let that out? And having this instant karma where I went from being the person that the anger was reflected at to being the person that reflected it. Having this, all of my bias, because I was like, why is this woman not a better human being? Like, she's older. She's been in intentional community, which is supposed to kind of help you soften your rough edges. She chooses to be in an intentional community. She's been in intentional community for decades. And she is a homeowner. And it was that piece where I was like, why does that mean she should be a better human being? Like, I was like, she's more well off. She has more money. She has more connections. And I was like, that it doesn't mean anything, actually. It helped me bring to surface my bias and my worry about like being connected to this community and what people thought about me. And it also showed that these negative events can still be positive. And if that hadn't happened, 6 months later, when my sister said some mean, hurtful things to me about my disability, I would have been in a much worse space, because the things that were in my head, someone had said them to me and I survived. And I was like, that's not on me, that's on you. And I was able to walk away from my sister for a year and a half when she said some of the same things 6 months later. So I just wanted to share that, because it's what I didn't know it was on his birthday. And I didn't know. I'm so grateful that I keep this journal. So I knew that it was the anniversary of that, and what has unfolded since then. And I wanted to share that with you. And if you want, I'm going to link to the next story with the neighbor that happened this year when we stayed there. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I did
Of course I uploaded it on September 11th. How? But it says this day transpired on August 13th, 2020. So I don't know, maybe I recorded it on Zoom and then uploaded it, or we'll see, maybe I recorded it then. I went for a walk later in the day and had an amazing walk. We'll see. I will say all the things, but what September? So we just write that down. August 13th. I better write down the year too, because my brain can't hold it, which is why I keep making it smaller to get the date. Okay.
four videos actually yesterday, and many takes on each of them. So even multiples of that. And I want to do an intro because I'm going to stitch them together, and they're going to be very long, but I want to tell you why I'm stitching them together. I have a very mundane life. I live a very specific routine almost daily. And yet the universe provides exactly what is meant to happen for me to learn what I'm here to learn. And I think the last 24 hours showcases that in a mundane, profound way. Like, this is not an exceptional 24 hours. It just so happens I recorded a video yesterday morning when I was feeling like crap and feeling like a bad parent. And I talk about everything that led to that moment. And then I had an amazing walk in the evening that I wouldn't have had if those things hadn't happened. And this morning I woke up to a troll comment on the perfect video that I needed to watch. And so that's really all you need to know. But if you want to know more about those 3 things, then you can watch this entire video and see how the universe provides all those little things. Like, for instance, I was down on myself in the morning for having attended the day before a 4th session of our mega conversation. And then during our walk, we came up with an amazing, we were like working out an acronym in the background while I was on this other walk, and other things were happening. And then this morning, I just sent another one, and she just sent me back this beautiful new acronym for MLM, which is Meta Love Magic. I'm like, yeah, there's something emerging here. And I want to hopefully inspire people to find this in your day. During COVID-19, people are so bored and they're stuck at home. That was my life beforehand. But when you start awakening to what the universe is giving you, you can learn every lesson. Like the same YouTube algorithms that make me angry because it's like, you think you know me? Yeah, you know what? The universe provides it. The exact right message at the exact right time, including from the trolls. Please find the glimmers, the triggers, the lessons the universe is giving you, because I guarantee you they're there. Thank you. Please enjoy the 3 other videos that I'm going to stitch after this one in reverse. I'm going to give you the troll this morning, the walk last night, and then the emotional, I feel like a crap person in the morning. It'll be a very long one. And my smoke detector's chirping. Oh, it's all kinds of perfect. All right, take care. And the construction that I was annoyed by yesterday is also re-happening. I know I'm about to go for my walk, but I didn't get to go on yesterday, which is part of the whole story. I woke up this morning to a trolley, I'm fairly sure it is a troll, on a comment on one of my old videos from over a year ago. Almost a year, sorry. And it was the perfect thing to have happen, as it always is. Like, it's both because it when someone comments on it, it's usually like I'm reminded that video exists and I'm supposed to watch it, and that's enough. And it's people making neutral comments or nice comments. It's very rarely an actual troll. But last year I went to Whistler for Labor Day weekend, and it was the 2nd year in a row that we went. And on the way up there, I had this epiphany for a disability league of it was something about like people with different disabilities empowering each other rather than relying on outside people to understand and give us charity instead of solidarity, and feeling like they're doing us a favor by accommodating us. Because, and this is the title of the YouTube the episode, the video is Useless Eaters. I was in the middle of watching Man in the High Castle, and it's a Nazi concept. And the title is something like Useless Eaters, not what the Nazis thought. And so in the video, I talk a little bit about disability, or around that time I'm talking about it. And then I talk about how, in fact, of course, the people with the mental and physical and really emotional disabilities aren't the ones, maybe this guy has, is not, they're not the ones who are actually not contributing. They're absolutely the ones the Nazis decided to murder for it, but they're not the ones that are actually taking up resources, are taking and not giving. They're giving a hell of a lot, actually, just by existing. And yet, due to our ableism in society, they're not able to contribute their gifts. They really aren't. Like, you're only able to contribute your gifts as long as you can like fit into a able-bodied society, a neurotypical society. So anyway, this guy said something about me being an interesting creature, and was wondering what I was talking about, and then said something about that this talking creature is a useless eater. It's like, well, I eat. It's like, and I'm saving humanity. I'm anything but useless. Like, by like a year ago, when I did that, you couldn't see a lot of outside metrics, outside receipts that I was doing anything. It was all internal. Right after that, and it's just so, anyway, it reminds me of this time. It's like a year later, COVID-19 is happening, the world has like burst into ableism more, basically. I mean, that's what, when it's like, oh, it's just people with pre-existing conditions, that's more or less what they're saying. It's just a useless eaters. It's all good. It's all good. It's like, no, don't take away my ball game. Oh my God, I'd be inconvenienced. Do you understand that I'm an important contributing member of society? No, you're not more important than anybody else. Anyway, so the fact that it reminds me this year ago, we're not able, this family that we went to Whistler with 2 years in a row, we're not able to go with this year because I don't know if they're going. They didn't invite us. And also, we're not even able to have play dates with them because they're one of the families that are not taking COVID-19 seriously at all. They're also Melaleuca distributors. They're also the MLM people, which is my current, like, I don't know what I was talking about as my special interest, the Disability League, whether I was talking about, I don't even know what I was talking about when I said that in the video, because my special interests change under the umbrella of saving the world, finding that out. Currently, right now, it's MLMs. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
is, and I have been my whole life, like the math of them and the exponential growth of like chain letters and stuff. And it's literally what my two videos yesterday were about. And so the fact that like it's nearly a year later, it's right before I found Game B, it's less than a week before I found Game B, that this video was posted. It's this family that is both in an MLM, or at least was a year ago. They have this weird, like I love this family. My kid plays with their kid, and I'm sad that we can't. And I love the wife, and I love the guy too. But they're like a fake, not let's say fake positivity, it's that toxic positivity family. Like last year when we were in Whistler, the girls were walking, and I did this little montage video that an android will do. And the guy was like, "Oh, you can't," because there was one video of the girls having basically like blue steel face. Like they just looked like they were like taking over the market. Like they just, but like in like a almost bitchy way. And he was like, "Oh, we can't have that on the internet of her." I was like, "What?" Like all the other ones are fine, but your 7-year-old, your 6-year-old has to be smiling, has to have every picture be perfect. Are you kidding me? Like that's weird. And they are like constantly, I mean, I'm like, I'm tired. I can't do that. And they're like, when their daughter said that in front of me, like she about her own self, right? She's like, "I'm tired." And they're like, "We don't say things like that. And we only talk positive." It's like, oh God. They put me in the living room instead of in the bedroom because there was a couple. And I get it. Like of course you put the single person in, but with a kid, like, are they really having sex when their family's right there? I'm the one who needs to watch, but they don't understand. They're the people who think that like, whatever. Like it was, if I'd known I was sleeping in the living room, I wouldn't have went. And then I wouldn't have had an amazing weekend, and I wouldn't have, because I need to have a place to be able to go and be alone and it was like constant, the girls loud and everything else. And it reminded me of that weekend when this family, the MLM, the two special interests come together, that the world right now with COVID-19 and its bursting at the seams ableism. And then the two videos that I have recorded from yesterday that I'm going to release all three of these at the same time. And it's like the universe gives you exactly what you're meant to learn. It was just that person commented on that video, that what was happening a year ago, what's happening now, that it was like around this family with the MLM, and it's exactly what I'm here to undo. That toxic positivity that you like, this family just busts it. Like they he's doing Melaleuca, their kids in all these different activities, they're trying, I guess they used to have money, now they don't, they have to like self-replace. I'm like, this is what the toxic positivity culture does. Like, oh, if you just think positively enough, then you'll be successful. So if you're not successful, you're doing it wrong. And I like at their core, they're personifying that in a way that's like heartbreaking. and it's their learning their thing. It's not really about, I'm gonna redo this one. I recorded several videos this morning, but I didn't post them. I didn't feel like it at the time, and I wouldn't have the capacity to post it. But they were explaining that today was a hard day, that I had to cancel my kid's play date, and I feel like a bad parent. And I will be posting the video. Now I'll pick between the three, or maybe I'll weave them together and post all three. So I just, almost every morning, I go for a walk. And it is my connection to source. It is it's the biggest piece of self-care I have right now, and it's everything. And yet I wasn't able to go on Monday and Tuesday because of the sunburn I got on Sunday. And I went on Wednesday, and then I wasn't able to go this morning. I no capacity, which is partly why I had to cancel the play date. Partly because my kid also stayed up till, she didn't stay up till 2 a.m. She woke up at 2 a.m. and stayed awake. And so today was just a hard day. For me, she was fine. More or less. But like there was construction on each side, and it was driving me crazy. And then I went grocery shopping to get some stuff for dinner. I came back and she was passed out on the table, and my kid does not fall asleep without, like, she fell asleep maybe before she was 2 years old in the car seat sometimes. Other than that, she never fell asleep when she was eating food, never fell asleep at the table, like only in her bed.
And she's just not, she didn't nap at daycare when she was really young. She's just not a sleeper, but she's been up since 2 a.m. So she totally fell asleep. So I carried her as best to my ability to her bed, and she's been sleeping since then. And that was like 6. She was probably gonna wake up. She's gonna be hungry. But because she was asleep, I went for my walk I would have went for this evening, without realizing that it was getting dark. I went on my usual, and I went on the swings. And I was singing to myself the whole time, and the forest was giving me messages. Oh, I also had some pot, which I'm off of at the moment, but I'm letting myself have on Fridays or Saturdays. Today's not Friday or Saturday, but there was something about the fact that I got to go tonight that I was like, no, you're supposed to do this. So I did. And it wasn't even, like, it's not like I have a new fire that I'm starting that's fully emerged, but it's the same one that's coming up, the MLM one, the one around. I also did another video, which I may or may not post, of me unboxing the MLM, the essential oils kit that is in fact an MLM. And I really dislike MLMs. So I was watching more of the math on specifically doTERRA, and I have like this on my whiteboard because I may still doing a video on the math of it and how it's broken. How that is like a horrible way for anyone to make money that isn't in it from the beginning. The math doesn't make sense, but it's a great way to recruit. It's a great way to have community. It's just not a good way to earn money, because the only way you earn money is off the backs of everyone below you, and you need to basically scam thousands of people because they're not going to be able to, or if they're able to, they're going to have to scam people in order to be able, because the next level won't be able to. So at some level, you can't in any way guarantee. In fact, you can basically guarantee failure. But that's not. So going on this walk, stoned, I got this, like everything that came into what's emerging right now. The fact that this woman who I met on Twitter and is also a world-saving entity, we need a name for it. I don't know what to call us. And the fact that she got in touch with me, like set off this MLM thing in me that I've been binge watching, which also the fact like my kid had to stay up to 3 a.m. I had to have a crap day, then had to go for the walk. I had to listen and actually smoke the pot. I had like, there's just like so much that was happening in that moment that comes into play. And those are 2 different things. One of which is what had to happen to lead to that moment of me being able to go for that walk, and also what led to that I'm attending this MLM thing, and I'm currently obsessed with them, and they're currently my special interest. And then while I was gone too, at the end of our conversation yesterday, which is the one that I overdid, I asked the two women to help me come up with an acronym MLM for MLM that isn't an MLM. It's kind of anti-MLM. And I don't remember what she said, but it was like multi-level networking, I think. And I was like, no, because if it's not if the acronym isn't MLM, it doesn't make sense to have it be it's kind of just funny and cute to have it actually have the acronym be MLM. And so I remember what I suggested back, but back and forth while I'm on this walk, and in the background came up with meta learning magic, which is very our God that's not a God that's coming up with the Behavior group. And that's cool. Then on the walk, I had this, because it was getting dark, and I don't normally go out after dark, even though I live in a very safe neighborhood. And I'm like in a secluded-y, foresty area, not the safest. There's this one, I got these 2 images, just so many messages to the forest. I saw a rat, and rats are the one animal that I dislike. They're my trigger. And there was something about it where I was just like, yeah, I see you. You're not. There was no nervous system reaction. I was just like, you're kind of just as cute as a squirrel doing your thing. Definitely scared of people. People are like against them for just existing. And then there was this little hole. I go to this walk every day, but I don't go at night. And I don't go at dusk. Yeah, dusk. And so there's this beautiful, I'm going to put on my Instagram, like an entrance to the tree. There's mushrooms growing on either side. And then after I was on the swings, there's this gorgeous like entryway to the forest. When I was a kid, we listened to this horrible story. It's the worst kid story. We had these Christian records, and they came with like comic book, like stories in them. And one of them was called Nathaniel the Grublet. They might actually have it on YouTube. I'm gonna link it if they do. And it's about this boy, they're called grublets, and all they do is steal. And so his brothers are like, "What did you steal?" And he doesn't want to steal. So he gets kicked out and goes out to the forest, and he ends up, if you're out in the forest after dark, you disappear, but it's actually like you're finding God. Anyway, so I texted my two siblings, one of whom I mean, we're kind of talking, but not really. We haven't really dealt with the fact that we didn't talk for a year and a half, we're just, anyway. But she texted me a few times. I just like, I don't want to hear about book recommendations. I don't want to hear about your comments on my health, even if it's trying to help. I just don't. And yet I was like, okay, there's something about, I was just supposed to, like, there's some things only your siblings understand. And so I just texted them, like, well, I'm in the forest after dark. And if I disappear, just Nathaniel the Grublet. And I sent them the picture of the forest. And then I had this profound sense of gratitude for this woman who lives in the community that I haven't been able to be a part of. And she was at the beach when I got the sunburn on Sunday. And she, several times, like, we're not really good friends. We're not one of each other's favorite people in co-housing. But I really love her. I think she's an amazing human being. Her son's actually the one who's born, who shares the birthday with the boy, with the guy whose necklace I had in the GPS coordinate. This all like just ties together. Anyway, but that's a little bit of a stretch. But anyway, I haven't seen any of them since the pandemic, and so I saw a few of them at the beach. It was very lonely because although I was out in nature, I was out in the sun. I never do quite well. They, like, I couldn't hear because of the wind, and I didn't realize how loud it is on the beach. It's like usually in nature I can hear because it's quiet and peaceful, and so I couldn't communicate with them. And it was also like I didn't want to, but just like I don't want to talk about mundane shit. Like I just don't want to talk about even about school and the pandemic. Not that that's mundane, but it's like just tiresome. All I want to talk about is Game B. All I want to talk about is the world I want to create, and no one really wants to hear it. But I had mentioned that there's a community starting in Nelson, and I'm hoping to find out if it's possible to move there or start our own in Nelson, that whatever it happens to be. And she called me over to talk about it. Like she was like, hey, come over here and tell us about the community. And she's done that several times where it's been like I've been kind of off in my own, like feeling on the sidelines, and she's just been like inviting me into the conversation. And she's an introvert. She's she's not someone who's overly talkative. I actually am overly talkative, but don't really know how to do small talk and stuff. And she's kind of the opposite. She's like perfectly comfortable being in silence, her and her sister. And yet, I don't know, like just this invitation. So I sent her a thank you message that was basically, I don't know if you do this, but like, thank you. I'm very grateful. And listening to those, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to come from either of those. The message I sent my siblings is like dark. I'm like texting people that I don't send messages, but listening to the universe when it tells me to do those little things, getting the message from the universe of like this rat and this little cave and this entryway and this pathway, and like you're on the right path, and getting to be on the swings at the dark, and I'm just singing to myself and getting to experience this because my kids stayed up till 2 a.m. and because I canceled the play date that made me a bad mom that I felt this morning, and then that I recorded that video so you can see kind of that one leading into this. I don't know if people can see what I can see in this, but I want to share these little things because like this is where the magic is happening. It is coming together, and it is going to be something that looks weird as we're going. These aren't YouTube-y videos, but they are, looking back, they will be. Looking back, this will be like watching Elon Musk create Tesla or watching Oprah happen. And those sound like, that sounds very egotistical. It's going to happen nothing like that because nothing has happened like this before. This isn't about one person becoming the focus, one person creating something. This is about everyone coming together and creating it, finding the people with the right skills in the right time, and following the next step and showcasing that you don't need to hustle. You just need to just be you and experience emotions and learn your part. And the doing that is its own reward. You don't need to get paid for it. You don't need to, like, it just all comes together. And part of it is this MLM thing that's emerging. And as much as I'm like in judgment over this woman joining this MLM and like, oh, how do I even like attend this thing on Saturday? It's released because I'm like, what if she signed up
so that this happened for me. That sounds egotistical, I know, to the outside world, but it's not. It's like that's how the universe works. So you can't really judge things because you don't understand the ripple effects. You don't understand what comes out of it. I could tell you everything that came into like that woman didn't know that calling me over meant anything to me in that moment, or that she's done that several times in my life, unless I shared it, unless I listened to that inner voice while I was on the walk to share that. And this wouldn't have been as big if, I don't even know, I had construction here all day and feeling like just overwhelmed today. A better world is on its way, and we all get to participate in co-creating it together. It's like just around the corner. This is long. I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna do them. Take it. So I just got the kit that I'm attending the what I think is the MLM pitch on Saturday, and I just got the kit. I don't want to show my address or her address, but this is how much it costs to send me this. If you're trying to make money at something, having to send out something. I mean, I'm in Canada and she's in the States, so there is that extra, but even if it's a couple bucks every time you have someone attend. Okay, there's a note here. I won't necessarily look into that. Oh. Try this before class. It is. It's doTERRA. Essential oils. Oh. No. Okay, I haven't said her name right. I didn't do that. I wanted to do this on camera because I wanted to, I don't know, get my actual reaction, but she's sending out that much money to send out these kits. You're never making money. It's 1% of people that make money at this. This woman is a world changer. A world changer. Like, F the MLM. This woman's changing the world, and she's somehow gotten herself wrapped up in an MLM. Weight management, women's health, babies and kids, emotional health, pet care. So all the things we care about as women. I mean, the weight management, I don't care about. Okay, I mean, it smells lovely. I do love me some essential oils, but oh, okay. Try this before class. Enjoy this sample. Incredibly powerful yet gentle anti-inflammatory to reduce chronic pain and inflammation. Take 2 drops under the tongue morning and evening. For acute and severe pain, take 2 drops under the tongue as often as needed, an hour as long as needed. I also just watched the Netflix, there's a Netflix series called Unwell, and the first episode is the only one I watched, and it's on essential oils and talking about, there's people who are like, absolutely you should ingest them. This is how we flavor things. He was a little bit sketchy, even if he had millions of followers. And then the people who were like essential oil actual experts who went to school for it, aromatherapy experts. And they were like, yeah, no, you don't ingest essential oils. So I don't know what says, what does this say? Copaiba? Oh, so there is this, that it's not, it's somebody else's name, probably her upline. Oh, my dear friend. Okay, there's a little gem here. Hop online and learn about doTERRA essential oils. Can help you and your family stay healthy. I will teach the class live using the video conference site Zoom. Here's what you'll need to know. Gives me the account. That's all. We're done. It's this Saturday at 11 a.m. So basically, I'm going to meet with the one woman who I absolutely love, who's, you know, needs to, we need to figure out how to get her paid so she can do what she's doing in the world. And then I'm meeting another one, like literally hour after hour. It's like 1 hour at 10 a.m. to do the culture of we, starting with 3, and then find out about this. I mean, it's a super cute little bag, but it also has no, what's the word? Anyone? Branding. It's got no branding on it. These little containers, guaranteed. I guarantee this package cost at least $20 to send out, because these little things are, if I'm generous, $1 for the 4 of them total, and it's probably more than that. Plus the essential oils inside. And essential oils aren't cheap, and there's like quite a bit in there actually.
My diffuser actually just broke. I bought a diffuser from Sage like a decade ago. No, my child was, I think, but I can't remember if my child wasn't born yet or was, I can't remember if it's older than her or younger than her, and that's how I gauge everything. But when I bought it, Sage made it very clear that there was a lifetime warranty, and it stopped working like at the beginning of the pandemic. So I have it, and I got to go back into Sage now that they're reopened and get a new one. It's also, I don't like the look of my one, although it works. The newer ones are much nicer. And I don't know, maybe they'll fix it and I'll have my one back. I'd rather that for environmental reasons, but also a new one. It will be nice. Join with computer audio and join with video so we can hear and see you. I know how to use Zoom, but not everyone does. The class is interactive, so have your class packet with you and join. Class will last 40 minutes. Like, I honestly don't know what to do because she is a person I want to support. I want all good things for this woman. And I in no way want to support an MLM, especially one that preys on people who are chronically ill. And I know she has chronic illness too. And I know she's kind of been doing more of the self-help, getting better. And I hope it's from something else and not just from doTERRA. But I will go in with a somewhat open mind. No, I'm not. I can't go into it with an open mind. But I will go and support her as a woman. I will probably just stay silent during the class and not necessarily talk about this stuff. Might mention the Netflix episode. I hope she hasn't sunk too much money into this and too much time and energy. If she's doing it just to learn business and just to learn from her upline and mentorship, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But then don't get other people involved. Like, don't, like, other, so hard. Okay, I just want to do that on camera because I wanted my authentic reaction. And to see, maybe I was hoping I'd open it and be like her own company she was starting. I mean, it is, but not in the way that is legitimate in the world. Oh, but I'm gonna go smell these essential oils. I guess I could do that. Okay, thank you. Bye.
This channel is mainly meant to showcase my journey towards creating my vision into the world and becoming whoever I need to be to do that, while not trying to become anything, by constantly figuring out who I truly am and like excavating that, not trying to become a version of myself that is palatable to the masses or palatable to literally anyone else besides myself. And I do truly love myself more and more the more I get to know me and the more I uncover, because I'm pretty awesome, because everyone's pretty awesome. But that means showcasing the truth, the ups and the downs. And today is kind of a down day. I had to cancel my kid's play date that she was looking forward to, partly as a consequence for actions yesterday that she took, and partly for consequences of actions that I took, that I overdid it yesterday. I wasn't able to fully sleep. We had a dental appointment and they took way too long. So we were in the fluorescent lights and background noise for over an hour. For anyone else is not really a big deal, but for me is. I have construction on both sides, and Wednesdays is my busy day. And I stayed on our Omega conversation one session too long because it's a free Zoom account, and we get kicked off every 40 minutes and we go back in. And so we usually go for 3 sessions, which is 2 hours. And the women on it ended up coming back for a third, which was an amazing conversation. Like, I'm glad I did it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it cost my kid this play date as well as her actions. And so I have this like mom shame and mom guilt, and my house is a mess. And it's just like, why can't I be a better human being? Why can't I do what other people can do? And then explaining it to the other mom of like, right, I don't have the energy to drive there. My kid's been up since 2 a.m. So she's gonna be not so in a great mood. And I don't have the energy to drive there. And I definitely don't have the energy, or is it in a time in the world right now where I can take transit? But then it's like, well, can we reschedule for tomorrow? No, I have other things. I have my one thing going on that day. I can't do, like, explaining a Spoonie disability to anyone is hard, because it's like, well, you have the energy to do this video. Well, not to edit it, not to make it be what I think it should be.
I watch all of these people on YouTube who have amazing channels, and a lot of them have disabilities. Listening to Jessica, and I can't even remember what her channel is called, but she's this beautiful British. She looks like a put together 50s housewife. She's gorgeous, and she has her wife Claudia, and she's deaf. And damn it, iPad, I'm gonna fucking murder someone right now. And that, like, the anger comes out. I'm just like less patient. My it's like, why are iPads so expensive and their battery sucks and their plug-in doesn't work? And like, I just bought a new one because the other one, it's like, okay. The world is getting better. You are actively creating a better world. Okay. Yep. Feeling, we went for a play date on Sunday, got sunburnt, feeling like a crappy parent because of that, then having to both, like, she needs to recover, I need to recover, we can't go out in the sun. I needed a couple days, and then I wasn't able to go for my walk in the morning because I had a sunburnt knee, and it hurt to put pants on. And it's just like, and then even just like dwelling on that makes it worse. And it's a fucking shit show. I don't know what else to say. I'm watching some other person on YouTube who's reading other people's comments and try not to use the swear words. I'm like, oh, is that a fucking thing? Are we not supposed to be swearing on YouTube because we get shadow banned? Oh well. But I just want to, I'm going to do a video at some point on this ADHD coach because she keeps on triggering me. And I find that a blessing. Like, I don't find the construction on either side of me trigger me constantly a blessing. Although it is like, okay, this is your environment. My home is my safe space. And it can't really be a safe space on the days when they're and I constantly keep forgetting that there's construction. Like, I was going to do a video when I got back from my walk yesterday and outside, and I was like, right, you can't. There's construction on either side. You either have to do it at like 6 a.m. or not at all. But people triggering me, like, including if I start thinking that the people, and I do sometimes, I'm like, this is a pandemic, why are you building houses? I'm like, right, it's a pandemic, people are out of work, these people have jobs, they're providing for their families. Yes, there's 2 houses being built, to some degree at least they're happening at the same time. I can't even tell which side they're working on. It feels to me like they're taking, like, because I can't tell direction of sound, so it's like I can hear it, but is it on this side or this side? No idea at the moment. And that, my brain just has to, like, a lot of times I'll figure out where something's coming from, I'll find it out and seek it out, so my brain can go, okay, it's over there, and then it can kind of a little bit forget about it, even if it can't cancel out the background noise. But it's like, right, just pick a place, brain. I'm sorry, you're not going to get to figure out where every hammer thing is coming from and every bang. But today I just feel like I want to honor that it's a struggle. It's a struggle to figure out how many spoons I have in a day and to not overdo it. And every time I overdo it, I get down on myself, which gives me less spoons. And then it's like it's a negative cycle that gets worse and worse. And I know how to get out of it. I know that honoring it by like swearing when my thing drops and being like, okay, maybe that's not the reaction you quite need. Not making it wrong for it, not making me wrong for having it. Just, okay, that's not the most productive use of your neurological system. How can we not get, like, not amp it up, not keep, like, and I'm gonna take Apple down. I mean, I'm totally taking Apple down, but not because their iPad isn't charging and didn't charge all night that it was plugged in, even though it's brand new and the cord's brand new. And technology's stupid because it's destroying our planet. Like, it's not like this doesn't, although it costs me an actual hundreds of dollars, it also costs the planet, and there's like slave labor that goes into it. And the fact that it's not a better product that lasts for a decade is fucking ridiculous. And yeah, I'm gonna swear. Why? Because the world, like, this is the least of my worries. Like, are you kidding me? Someone swearing on YouTube, someone's kid hearing it. There's much bigger problems, and I'm actually dealing with those problems, both in my personal life. I'm gonna read this video, but
I woke up this morning with the intention of making a very specific video because today is the anniversary of the very first Idea Cafe that we
I think I'm about to say what I was gonna pause to say, because it's someone's birthday, and the previous one has recorded on September. I had uploaded it on September 11th, so we'll see what I say. But today, I went to go look at what someone's birthday is and realized that today's birthday is someone I had mentioned in the previous video. The people I had went to Whistler with. It's one of their birthdays today. And doTERRA comes in a lot. doTERRA comes in 2023 with the Jim Caviezel, Tim Ballard stuff. It comes in with the ADHD coach. I don't know if I know this at the point where I recorded that, but it came up with her. It has come up a few times, specifically doTERRA.
I happened to schedule a 9/11, and so we changed the question last minute to where were you 18 years ago? I already did that. I woke up this morning with the intention of making a very specific video because today is the anniversary of the very first Idea Cafe that I happened to schedule a 9/11, and so we changed the question last minute to where were you 18 years ago? I already did that video and it's uploaded to the Idea Cafe channel, but when I tried to do the same video for this channel, it cut off because my iPad filled up. And then I tried to do it again, I didn't realize, anyway, same problem. Then the day transpired, so I'm very glad it didn't happen in the beginning. One of the other things I had scheduled for today was Wednesday. One of my very best friends got in contact with me. We hadn't been in contact for a while. You know, how are you doing? And so we scheduled a video conversation for today at 10 a.m. This morning, when I went to go do the video, I was like, wait a minute, today's 9/11. Isn't that our anniversary? And so I was like, hey, what year is this that it ends up being? It's our 11th anniversary. So that's kind of cool. Our 11th anniversary on 9/11, we ended up scheduling a group conversation, video chat. So we had that conversation. Before that, I got a text from my kid's best friend's mom from co-housing. They had chatted yesterday online and like, hey, when are we gonna have a play date? I was like, we'll talk about that because it's back to school time. Her kid's in a different school. They're going back to school. We're not going back to school. Turns out they weren't able to go back to school today. So they haven't been back to school yet. So it's the last time we can have a play date. How perfect that we were able to get together today. I was like, well, I have a conversation from 10. That will probably go till noon. And then I have Together Tech board meeting. So she was coming to pick up my child and take her to the local park. They came while I was on the conversation with my friends, but they're always a little bit late. And she ended up coming. So I kept getting these dings on my phone. And I kept checking. It was this other person, which is its own thing. So this thing transpired because I was having a conversation with my friend on our anniversary and this other play date was happening. The last time I hung out with those friends, the only time I've hung out with those friends during COVID was when we all went to the beach together about a month ago. That was because we got heat stroke. We ended up having to cancel the play date. That whole day transpired. That night when I went for a walk because of the canceled play date, I ended up texting one of the women who was at that play date at the beach, who had included me. And she's done that on several other occasions. And I've done a video on this exact thing. And so I just texted her on my walk and said, thank you. Like, you've done this several times. And it wasn't anything huge and impactful, but I just wanted her to know that I was grateful for that. Today happens to be her birthday. She's also the mom of the child who shares the birthday with one of my best friends who gave me the necklace that fell off in my hand on her son / one of my best friend's birthdays. The person who had me wear the protection jewelry that fell off in my hand has his birthday on the anniversary of the anger event that happened, a big, huge event that happened. And I've also done a video on at co-housing. Today, this guy texts me, and I'm having a conversation with my friend, and this transpired. So he said, what is this? I'm curious. So he said, this is starting at 9:39 this morning. You know, okay, so I actually have to start yesterday. So he just asked, no school, ? No, my kid won't be attending school this year. Yeah, I was wondering where you stood on school.
That was a few weeks ago. Then he asked on Thursday, you happy about school? He knows I'm not sending my kid to school. But anyway, it is what it is. We are doing a bit at the kitchen table throughout the day. He said, yeah, you not happy? How's your YouTube channel? I said, oh no, he's still saying, you know, the creator has given you that third eye for a reason, and she gave you that child too for a reason. It's not to be thrown away. I stated, because I was about to be on a conversation, but I was like, that's weird. So I just stated, not sure what you were saying. I am listening to my calling and taking care of my child. He said, I'm curious, what's your calling? YouTube videos? Question mark, question mark. He shows up every few months to question my, I don't know, intention and like what I'm doing in the world. I'm like, I'm doing enough. I'm good. I feel good about what I'm doing. Anyway, so he's like, the YouTube, where did this go? Sorry, I switched my phone. I said, I suck at it if it is my calling, LOL. He said, good. I said, no, my calling is dismantling capitalism and creating a world that works for everyone. He said, good, you have something. Use it now while you can. I said, I will, I am. Then 10 o'clock hit, so I got on my conversation. At 10:07, he sent me, yeah, because we need you desperately. This air from fires, it's human cause. You are ahead of most. This 10 minutes later, you are ahead of most. You have something good. I've been silently watching you work. Most of those people are sheep. See, what you've got to understand here is the world will listen to you, not me. My job is to keep pushing you. In no way do I need that. That's not your job, but sure. But again, I was looking at this because I'm waiting for my friend to come, but I wasn't reading them. Then at 10:51, it's now been less than an hour since he sent the one I didn't respond to. He said, talking about it achieves nothing. Hey, what you think? See, I'm angry today and I want to blame your culture. Your culture has done a lot of bad. It's in my culture, but whatever. You know, I'm trying to have a chat with you and all you can do is ignore us. Who's up? Like, really? Like, whatever. WTF. Maybe you are not so different. Maybe you are racist like everyone else. I thought you respected us. And then it says this person is unavailable on Messenger. So he has blocked me. I can't find him. I can't respond. Hey, I was busy for an hour having a conversation. I'm not beholden to my conversation. But this happened today for a reason. He is intimately tied to the whole journey that he told me that it was his birthday on the anger anniversary, that he blocked me today on 9/11. I'm like, I don't know. But this stuff is so amazing. Because if I hadn't met my friend 11 years ago on 9/11, if we had met on September 20th, I wouldn't remember, right? She wouldn't remember. We wouldn't remember it was September 11th. So we wouldn't remember that it was our anniversary. We wouldn't know it was cool. We set up a call. If we didn't have Facebook, if I hadn't remembered this play date from before, then it wouldn't matter that it's this other friend's birthday. It happens to be on 9/11. I love it because we've been friends for like 9 years. And I feel like every year I'm shocked that 9/11 is her birthday and she's a twin. So it's like both of their birthdays. But I have another friend who's 9/11 and I always remember she's 9/11. So it's funny that I never remember. I have these friends every year. Like there's a few that are born on my mom's birthday. So I'm like, oh, you're my mom's birthday. I now remember who they are. Actually, the woman who came to the Idea Cafe a year ago shares my mother's birthday and one of my very good friends. Oh, I'm going to map this out because this like anger event, my friend's birthday, this family co-housing, all of it is like so interconnected. And I'm only aware of it because it happens on these big days. And there's so much of the stuff that occurs all of the time that you won't even be aware about. I wouldn't have been aware what the anniversary of that anger event was if I hadn't been keeping a journal for my kid and then seeing that it was these other two people's birthday, the feelings coach and this person who taught me about protection jewelry. And the fact that he blocked me today after I didn't respond for an hour and is like, you're disrespecting us. Who's us? How am I disrespecting a bunch of people because I didn't respond to your text? That I don't need. I don't need somebody in my life checking up on me. I don't need someone seeing if I've saved the world because I'm on the universe's course. I don't need someone else telling me to look after Mother Earth. She's my mother too. She tells me all day, every day that she's hurting and in pain. I feel it. I don't need someone else telling me. I'm connected to all of the grandmas. I don't need you to tell me what they're saying. They're telling me. I need to learn. I have to listen to them, learn to listen to them. But that's a totally different category. I'm here to teach the world how to listen to their own inner talk. As much as I don't want to be the person to teach them that. That was not the mission. It was dismantle capitalism and create a world that works for everyone. Turns out it's about listening to your inner guide, following your own guide. And I'm figuring it out. But I get it. What it looks like. I'm like, I'm saving the world and I have 200 subscribers. And so there's arrogance in there and people want to like keep me in check, but I don't need your in check. This isn't arrogance. This isn't ego. This is, I'm doing it. I already know how we do it, and I'm on my path. I don't need to okay it through anyone else. If you want somebody else to do something, that's going to be a lot of pain. Like his whole "you're racist" thing. No, you were being prejudiced in the moment. You thought it meant that I was being racist, that I was being disrespectful of him and his entire culture because I didn't respond to him within an hour, right? Less than an hour. That is being prejudiced. So you're reacting to the outside like it's always that. And I know I do this constantly all day, every day. It's like, how dare you not look after Mother Earth, right? Where am I not? Where can I take more on? If I'm getting triggered by the racism on the outside, what is the racism here that I'm dealing with? And in so doing, I have grown immensely. And I invite everyone else to do the same. Grow where you feel you need to grow. She's going to teach you where to grow. You don't need some outside force telling you. Those Mother Earth, the grandmothers, the aunties, they will kick your fucking ass if you're not doing it right. We don't need an outside other human alive being kicking our ass for us. She's doing it just fine on her own. But the fact this all transpired on 9/11, the fact that his birthday shares the birthday of the anniversary event, the fact that he's wanted with the protection jewelry, that shares the birthday with the woman who I talked to about the play date, the fact that today is the day after the cleanse, which I had a lot of energy on, which happened when I rescheduled the play date, that beautiful Deuterum getting together with my siblings happened because of that walk. It's all just so interconnected. Today is the day after a cleanse as well, because I'm doing it every month. It's not as big of an energy day as it was then, but it's still an energy day. It's still all this cool stuff coming together around an anniversary that also just has a lot of energy for the world, because it's a big day, because it brings, it's not just September 20th, right? You can see that these things come together. I invite you to start looking at them in your life. Start keeping a daily journal. These things are weird. They're so weird. So weird. All right. I don't know what else is coming out of this day, but I needed to share it with you. Thank you.
Mark turned to.
I thought there was one more on the playlist. There's not one more on the playlist? No,
Look up
this was the last one. This one was 10 minutes, not 40 minutes. All right. Well, I'm going to leave that here at just under 2 hours. I forgot it was his birthday. And that happened, that I got blocked on September 11th. So many signs at that point, let alone when 2023 hit and showcased the 2004 movies and the My Family lineage. Everyone's birthday, everyone's significant events were being guided. And watching this new to me anyway channel, Phase 2 House, which one of their names is Mandy, which comes in with someone else who has a birthday in my personal life, and also someone else who has a kid or tied to my birthday. That the name is just, I don't remember where I was going. I'm just gonna end this here. So many signs.